wine growers, and more. With Larry Van Alst, what's cooking on wine? The Sonoma Report.
Everybody's talking at me.
CRN Digital Talk, Chuck Wilder here with Paul Stern up there near the Hollywood Hills and the network. And we are live across America on this radio station, cable system, and around the world at crntalk.com, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple. Oh, there are so many ways to get us. Tomorrow's guest, Kimberly Dvorak, National Homeland Security Correspondent, also a correspondent for CW News 6 in San Diego. Her report, Jihad is Alive. And Tom DeWeese, founder and president of the American Policy Center, editor of the DeWeese Report, also the expert on Agenda 21. Are you ready for this one, though? His latest, the Clintons' massive war chest, disguised as a charity. Yes, Tom DeWeese, glad he's well and going to be able to be with us tomorrow. Right now, I want to go to Marilyn Barnwell. Hey, before beginning her career as a banker and later as an internationally known bank consultant, she was an investigative newspaper reporter at the Wyoming Eagle in Cheyenne. That's right. Hey, she writes extensively and almost exclusively for News with Views, Veterans Today, Canadian Free Press, and WorldNet Daily. Author of 11 books, including 2 novels, 7 textbooks on banking. And she's taught banking at the university level. She's listed in Who's Who in America, in Finance and Business, in American Women, and the World. Marilyn, how are you?
Hey, I'm terrific. You sound terrific, are you?
I am terrific, yes. That might be my middle name now. I'm not, well, you know. Yeah, I've to tell you the truth, I was having some problems for about 2 weeks, and believe me, if you were listening to the show, you knew it. And it wasn't health reasons, it was equipment reasons. And I'd gotten some fancy equipment. You know, it's sort of like you have part 1 and part 2. And part 2 was the equipment that I originally had that wasn't getting along with part 1. And oh my goodness, it was like it was terrible, unprofessional on my part. And I couldn't hear the guests, and they couldn't hear me, and But now, everything is wonderful.
Well, you sound
in its
great.
own way. Yeah, well, thank you very much. You know, I told the listeners in the last hour, because we were talking about all the problems going on and all the things this administration is doing, and especially with the immigration and the flooding of America, and it's just totally unbelievable. And when I read your latest article at News with Views, I was thinking, you know what? I think Marilyn had been listening to me and talking about the browning of America, and isn't it amazing that we're getting everybody from all over the world storming into this country unless they're white.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about the fact that she's got a long title here, and I'll let her give it to you here in a moment. But basically, it has to do with, in about 15 years, probably less, the white race will be a minority in this country. And guess what? It's not going to be by accident. Marilyn, the name of this one is, go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters in this. I keep telling you guys, you should cut it down to like 3, so it's easier. Okay, go ahead.
Communism, socialism, tribalism, oligarchy, elitism, and crony capitalism.
Now you see, you only got like 3 words that don't end in ism.
I know. That was on purpose, actually, Chuck. Well,
I'm just going to read about the first 2 little short paragraphs here, and I'm going to let you take it over. This is it's disturbing if you happen to be white, I guess, but Marilyn says, one of the things white Americans are going to have to come to grips with is that within 15 years, probably less, our race will be a minority in this country. And she says, I am of age that I well remember being told in the 1950s that the world was overpopulated. and I'm going to let you take it after that, but was that whenever they were pushing that zero population? And, you know, we've got to do something about the overpopulation. And I know I had a lot of friends, you know, married friends that were saying, we're not going to have any children because of this zero population. I think that's what it was called. And later on, Marilyn, I kind of looked around, I think especially after I got out of the Navy, and I said, wow, this zero population seems like about the only people that are paying any attention to, you know, only having one child.
That's right.
Are the white people.
Well, that's right, and actually, it was a very difficult time for me because I was Catholic, and I was being told you should not have more than 2 children, which was the not, and then, you know, Chuck, we reached a point with computers where we were able to see you need, in order to continue your basic growth, at least 2.3 children to maintain the population.
And it's really harder than hell, Marilyn. Harder than hell to get that 0.3 child,
that
you know.
0.3 child is tough. I grant you. But I mean, that was stands out because it was such a challenge to me. And I did have only 2 children, but that was really pounded into our heads in our teenage classes, which we used to take separately, you know, girls versus boys on our, where we ask questions of this type and we're informed of this kind of thing. But yeah, if you look, I remember the first time I went to London in 1971, I remember asking our hosts, we were staying with friends, why, it seems like you have so many Muslims here, why? This is 1971. And they said then, you know, we can't figure out why they're bringing so many of these people into our country. Well, they're tribalists. These are people who belong to tribes.
Yeah. And isn't it, I think it's towards the end of this article where you bring up the fact that they like to go in to countries and then change them. You know, they go there because, well, this looks good, and then they decide, now that we're here, we're going to change everything about them. And Sharia law plays into a lot of part about it. You know, I don't remember, and I read your article, I think, 2 or 3 nights ago, so, you know, my memory sometimes, but of course I have it here in front of me. But, you know, I don't think you brought this up in this article, but there are certain cultures that it's sort of like an honor. The more children you have, look how macho I am.
That's
you know, and I know that about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I think he was a black basketball player, and they were talking about he had like 17 children, but he wasn't married, and he was proud of them. They interviewed him, you know, and it made no difference to him, you know. And then I was listening to some people from south of the border talking about, you know, it's a manhood. The more children you have, pardon me, it represents, you know, it's accepted in the culture. Well, these are the people, you know, that we're letting storm across the border and coming in here and all their visas and we got to have them and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Marilyn's going to tell you, there's one major reason that all of these people are coming in, but forget about the whites, all right, because that ain't going to work. You got to have a certain type of person, and that's where all of a sudden you listen to the title of this article. You only have to go to, like, the first 2, communism, socialism.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, and I say in the article, Chuck, if you look at illegal immigration from a illegal, hear that word, not legal, illegal immigration, from a totally neutral position, it's just easy to see what government prefers. They ignore.
Absolutely.
They ignore people who are trying to get in here, educated people from other countries who want to come in here for job opportunities. And if you look at the people who come across the Rio Grande River, they are not of the Spanish descent. Those are people who are doing well in Mexico. These are the Indian Mexicans who come from tribal cultures, and they pour across the border. Same is true of Central America. And then if you look at Detroit, it's not real hard looking around Michigan to see who is the preferred illegal immigration, or I guess it's legal because Obama is inviting everybody from the Middle East to come to the United States. But that's where they are. And they get there, and what do? I want Sharia law. Well, you can't have... They want all the benefits, in other words, of a society that's been built on entrepreneurism and an individualist society, if you will. But they don't want the disadvantage of the responsibility required to live in a country that's built on the concept of individualism.
And like you mentioned, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. The people coming in are the people that are going to accept communism, socialism,
That's
tribalism, oligarchy, elitism, crony capitalism. You say here they all have one thing in common. Someone else is responsible for your life, from paying for your education, determining what kind of information will be contained in that education, indoctrination, career choices, what kind of fuel your car is going to use, whether you're going to be allowed to have a car or forced to live in cities. And that brings in Agenda 21.
That's
and I'm telling you, it may have started out as a little ripple, but it's definitely making a splash now. Medicine, right? Medicine. There are so many things. And you say, for those of us who think the ultimate glory of life is controlling our own destiny, this is not just a strange human reaction to government power. It is downright insane. For Christians, it takes a village, mentally, totally violates the message of individual responsibility imparted by Jesus Christ. Boy, I'm telling you, you are hitting all cylinders on this one, Marilyn.
Well, they do. They turn his words into this group thought thing. It gets back to no personal responsibility for individual behavior, no judgments between good and evil. Because, I can't tell you how many letters I get from people that, Chuck, I appreciate, and please don't take this wrong, I appreciate people who pray to God for salvation and to save us from. But that always reminds me that we are put here to serve Him. He isn't put here to serve us. And that's a very important
Hey, Marilyn,
distinction.
Got to interrupt you there because we're going to take our little short break here, and we will continue with this excellent article, and you can find it at newswithviews.com. Marilyn Barnwell, B-A-R-N, add the E, I will, B-A-R-N-E, Wall, W-A-L-L, newswithviews.com. More from Marilyn in just a moment.
We are perfectionists. We do it right and don't stop until the job is done. We build commercial zero-turn mowers with maneuverability, power, and comfort. Who are we? We are Kubota. Now, during our More Power to You sales event, you can get long-term financing as low as 0% APR on new commercial-grade Z700 series mowers.
For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to Kubota.com.
We are perfectionists. We do it right and don't stop until the job is done. We build commercial zero-turn mowers with maneuverability, power, and comfort. Who are we? We are Kubota. Now, during our More Power to You sales event, you can get long-term financing as low as 0% APR on new commercial-grade Z700 series mowers.
For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to Kubota.com.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
Whether you're restoring a classic car, building a hot rod, or just bringing your daily driver back to like-new condition, Steel Rubber Products is your choice for quality automotive rubber parts and weather stripping. As one of the world's award-winning custom car and hot rod builders, Bodie Stroud prefers to work directly with Steel Rubber Products on his award-winning project cars and show vehicles. In addition, Steel Rubber works with top builders like Bodie to confirm the fit and function of its parts, as well as develop new products. So for rubber products that fit like the original, last a lifetime, and look like they should, you can't get a better product anywhere. If your dream ride sounds like this, contact Steel Rubber Products and enjoy a ride that sounds like this. Steel Rubber Products, a difference you can hear and quality you can see. Visit us on the web at www.steelrubber.com or call us at 800-447-0849. And remember, if you want the best, you want Steel Rubber Products.
Everybody's talking at me.
My guest, Marilyn Barnwell, internationally known bank consultant, writer of 11 books, and discussing her latest at News with Views. And you know, it's all going to make sense, listener. It's if you just look at it, and it's almost unbelievable, isn't it, Marilyn?
Yes, it is. It's so predictable. Once you see the core of what's happening, it's all very, very predictable. And if I can, Chuck, I'd like to finish what I had started to say about prayer and Christians and so on. The prayer is very, very important. It's critical. But it's the prayer of come and save us and fix our nation, Lord, isn't going to get the job done. It's praying to ask for guidance in how to regain our Christian nation. What can I do, Lord? Those are the prayers that are key and critical.
Well, Marilyn, you know, lots of discussion, you know, does Obama love America? Is Obama a Christian? Does he think more of the Muslims than he does of, you know, and we've seen the war on religion, you know. In fact, Phyllis Schlafly wrote the book, you know, right. Obama's War on Religion, excellent book. About, well, a little bit before we have to go into the break here, it's, I want to read from your article, when you say, as I look back on those messages of reduced births from the 1950s, my teenage years, and evaluate the misbegotten illegal immigration policies implemented by various government administrations and departments, a pattern emerges.
Right.
When one views illegal immigration from a totally neutral position, it is easy to see from actions taken that the government has preferences about which illegals they will welcome by ignoring their presence and which ones they will pursue for being in America illegally. Now, you can say that's not true all you want, but the statistics defeat your words. The President's own words prove my point, and his Attorney General's actions or lack of them prove it too. I think I've got time to get this in because this is so important. Those who cross the Rio Grande River with impunity and receive great rewards for their law-breaking have similar traits. All right, number one, they come from tribal cultures where a chieftain of one kind or another has controlled their lives with the same authority royalty once had in Europe. They are breeders. They have far more children than they can afford to feed or educate and depend on the generosity of others to take care of their parental responsibilities. 3, they are not white. 4, the people who are white and would like to immigrate to America are denied the opportunity, and if they enter America illegally, they are pursued by law enforcement, which ignores the illegals from categories 1, 2, and 3 that we mentioned. A couple of minutes before the break, Marilyn, boy, you really did it on this one, and I'm telling you, I'm sure automatically people are going to say you're racist, Marilyn. You're racist.
I know. Yeah, that's true. But I have to tell you, Chuck, the interesting, I got a lot, as you can imagine, a lot of email in response to this article. I did not get one negative. Not one. I was amazed.
You know, it's funny. You can hear, me spouting what you wrote, and your excellent reporting and facts and figures. But if each person that says, boy, this is, you're full of it on this one, if you would take the time to read it, I mean, it's not racist. It is simply a formula, I guess you could say, Marilyn, that if you wanted to turn America into a socialist country,
that's right, this
is the way you would do it. And I'm going to tell you something, it's been going on for a while. I look back at, all the previous presidents, and they haven't been doing a very good job of seeing who's coming in and not. It's out of control. Well, speaking of out of control, I'm out of control because I got to take another break. And we're going to be back, and plenty of time now to get into this even further. Marilyn Barnwell, internationally known bank consultant, writes for News with Views, Veterans Today, Canada Free Press, World Net Daily. Remember the website, newswithviews.com. We'll continue in a moment.
We are perfectionists. We do it right and don't stop until the job is done. We build commercial zero-turn mowers with maneuverability, power, and comfort. Who are we? We are Kubota. Now, during our More Power to You sales event, you can get long-term financing as low as 0% APR on new commercial-grade Z700 series mowers.
For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to Kubota.com.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse. Much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
Homeowners, now is the season to be thinking about your roof, because all it takes is one storm to turn a small roof problem into a major leak. If it's time for a new roof, call Sears at 888-465-9720. You can save $500 if you call right now. Sears licensed, fully insured contractors can get your roofing job done right. Just call 888-465-9720. Sears has a variety of shingles and styles that are built for long-lasting performance, and you'll save $500 if you call now. So call Sears for a free in-home consultation at 888-465-9720. Hurry, offer ends soon. Not available in all areas. Installation provided by Sears authorized licensed contractors. License information available upon request. That's Sears Roofing. Call right now and save $500. Call 888-465-9720. 888-465-9720. Call Sears now and get that roof repaired. Call 888-465-9720.
Hi, this is Bill Martinez. Join us every Monday through Friday from 9 to noon Eastern when we're covering the issues that matter most to you. From Obamacare, the latest from Russia, the Middle East, Israel, immigration, and more. We're talking with the policy and political experts so you can be better informed. It's Bill Martinez Live, brought to you in part by my friends at Good News Tax Relief. Let them help you get your peace of mind back by dealing with the IRS for you. Proven experience, proven results. Call 800-255-7500.
Everybody's talking at me.
Chuck Wilder, CRN, with Marilyn Barnwell, internationally well-known bank consultant, and discussing her latest at newswithviews.com. And in this article you say, I do not refer here simply to the financially poor Mexicans who illegally cross our border, but to the Central Americans who do the same. I also refer to the Middle Easterners, of whom almost all are Muslims and have many children. And then you bring up Paris. Boy, their multiculturalism sure didn't work there, did it?
No, and it won't work anywhere, because like every other, rich against poor, white against black, white against every opportunity they can to divide, they know it will result in conquer. And
Marilyn,
that's really the basic message of this. We've got to stop allowing them to divide and conquer us.
Marilyn, you know what? You gave me the perfect opportunity talking about, dividing. We saw what went on with Ferguson and how this administration loves to divide. And this is one way they're going to be able to accomplish what you and I are talking about. The president just recently said, all right, here's the thing. He accused the GOP of favoring Americans over illegal aliens.
Oh, my God. What a
ladies and
thing.
gentlemen, if that doesn't tell you where this man's brain is and his line of thinking, he accuses Americans of favoring Americans over illegal aliens. But instead of Americans over Americans, it's got to be, the conservatives, the Republicans are favoring Americans over the illegal aliens. I guess that if you had to make a decision, right, one or the other, this is a lot of things in life, and a lot of movies are based on things. It's either going to be your first wife or your second wife. Which one? All right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this guy,
this whole thing is just basic logic, and the next part, before we get into the article, I think it's important to say that this is not putting one culture down over another. This is simply recognizing the fact that before America existed, before we had this individualist society that we created in this place called America, the world was run by royalty, which was a two-class system, which is what oligarchy means, a two-class system. It was royals, or the elites, and labor. That defines oligarchy. And that the United States, prior to the time it was founded, that was the acceptable way of life in the world. And once this little country, this free nation called the United States of America, was founded, where royalty had nothing to do with it. They didn't suppress entrepreneurism and a classless society. It made all the difference in the world. The rest of the world changed because of it. And what they're trying to do now is take us back to that elitist, labor class, two-class society. And it's very dangerous. Each of these groups, the socialist mentality or the liberal progressive mentality, has a purpose for being, but so do the individualists. And the two groups are so afraid of one another, Chuck, they try to destroy each other instead of working together to bring out the strength of each. The job of the entrepreneur is to create. The job of the individualist society is to create and enhance progress. The job of the tribalist is to take what the entrepreneur creates and stabilize it, make it secure, make it grow.
I'll give them part of your theory that you have here, which you say is based on thinking long and hard about the logic outcome of our current immigration policy. Simple logic, and I'm only going to give the listener part of it because they got to dig into this and read the whole thing. The white race is the only one that has throughout history resisted long-term slavery of any kind, including tribalism, communism, and socialism as far back as 1100. And then you get into the citizens of England, the Charter of Liberties, and all the things that didn't work, King Charles, the rights, and it goes on and on. All of these agreements, were demanded by the people because royalty, right, as you mentioned a moment ago. And then, because of royal abuse of power, in 1776, we have the document so meaningful to Americans, the Declaration of Independence. The white race is the only one that has throughout history resisted long-term slavery. And then we get into the whole thing about the New World Order, and that's where, there are so many people that want to run from that, Marilyn. I don't know what it is, because it is going to mess up with them getting their freebies, or like, you've got to be out of your mind, this will never happen, the New World Order. Yeah,
and we are so close to it happening, Chuck. It absolutely mortifies me. We're very close, very close.
You say that people born in poverty in Mexico and Central America generally descend from Indian bloodlines. Indians, in general, proudly prefer the tribal culture to that of individualism, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whites prefer individualistic social orders, and individualism opposes communism and socialism and oligarchies, forms of government required if there is to be a world government, a new world order. I mean, if you stop and think about it, is there anything that's not truthful in that statement?
To me, it's absolute fact and very provable. There are a lot of people who have opinions about thinking in terms of that those are racist statements. They are not. They are actual fact. it was the give me liberty or give me death has been the cry of the white race.
And you say both cultures, they have, what was it, the word you used, that they both have positives, they both have negatives. Each is needed by the other to achieve maximum levels of productivity.
That's right.
But because neither understands the other, and because each fears the other, our modern culture discourages either group from doing what it was put on earth to do. And each tries to force itself on the other, and war always follows, and a lot of this gets into the Muslims and the problems we're having today, and the ISA. What was it you said, like the world of peace, the religion of peace? I think that was towards the end there, yeah. But I don't know, Marilyn. It's like, to me, it was kind of obvious, you know. It seems like America was doing pretty good before 1965, when Kennedy decided, let's open the gates. I didn't see anything wrong with this. I didn't see why we needed to take the entire world and put them on our shoulders, you know, and take care of them. But that's just me. I may be way off on that.
Well, I think that the problems or the plans for all of this began about 100 years before Kennedy. But I do agree with you. That's when Cesar Chavez and the California farming problems all began during that time. The financing for all this, however, I believe, started back in about 1865 to 1870, right after the Civil War, the war between the states, if you prefer. But and I believe the funding for it has come from Cecil Rhodes. Rhodes Scholar, that Rhodes from South Africa,
okay.
The guy who owns De Beers diamond mines in South Africa. When he died, he left 6 trusts, and he started the Pilgrim Society, and he was the guy who said that America was a colony and should return under the royal rule of Great Britain. And when he died, guess who is the head of his trusts? A guy named Rothschild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned him here, I think it was, you say the Jews so hated by the Nazis?
Yeah.
They weren't beheading people or raping young girls or burying young boys in the sand while they were still alive, as the Muslims do. They didn't burn a pilot shot down in the war while holding him in a cage. The Jews were not barbaric. They were and are, however, the bankers of the world. And that name, Rothschild, which you just mentioned, is not the best liked around the world.
Yeah, you could sort of say that pretty safely that the Rothschild family controls the central banks of the world. And that is the source of all the problems in the world. And Chuck, you know, you and I have talked about this before, that basically you cannot have a new world order without first putting into place an economic system that is compatible worldwide to support that new world order, that government. And that's what's happening. That is
got to have a lot of followers too, and very few leaders, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to get to that, really, to accept that. Everybody wants to argue with that, and that's okay. But that's what's happening. The central banks of the world are creating the problem, and they're creating the problem because they have to have a world economy in place before they can. Once you have that done, once you have the world economic system compatible, the rest of world government is child's play. All you have to do is decide who gets which land and who's going to rule what.
You know, I want to go back because whenever you were talking about religion a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to get this article, this paragraph here, a short paragraph that you wrote, because it makes so much sense. And Marilyn says, due to the bloody violence used by Muslims, who have absolutely no respect for civilized wars, if there is such a thing, there is an attitude of disrespect towards Islam and the Muslims who subscribe to it. Who can respect any people whose social barbarism permits the live burial of Christian children, the beheading of innocents? To those Muslims who say Islam is a religion of peace, all I can say is, I believe what I see, not what you say. And then, Marilyn goes on, I say the same thing to those who call themselves Christians, but who approve of abortion.
That's right.
Boy, you were on a roll when you wrote this one, Marilyn.
Well, you know, they, with their multiple wives and large families, look at our abortion policies, where we've aborted somewhere between 30 and 50 million babies since this all started years ago. And they believe we are the violent ones and the uncivilized ones, because to them that is just as uncivilized. And it is to me, too, frankly, Chuck. But, I mean, I'm pro-life and proudly so. But it isn't perspective an interesting thing, that we are so sure we're right. We don't think anything about Planned Parenthood down the street, but we're absolutely mortified that they would kill these Christian children.
Mm-hmm.
Gee whiz. I mean, you've got to be pretty short-sighted to not see that conflict in philosophy.
Well, you wonder, Marilyn, you know, after you and I talking and the listener soaking some of this in, and I always use that expression, you know, asleep at the wheel. You just wonder, you know, how this rolls off people's shoulders. Do they really stop and think about, you know, do you want to live under communism? You know, and it's never worked anywhere where they've tried it. Socialism, but you believe in, you know, the propaganda that you're being fed, and you're drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak.
That's right.
But there are so many people. You know, when the president a few days ago or last week or whatever, he says, I want to make it mandatory where everybody votes. Every single person has to vote of age. And if you don't, there will be, you know, penalties, fines against you for not voting. And they point out, if you have ever watched the gentleman on Bill O'Reilly's show, Waters World.
Oh, yeah, Jesse Waters, yeah.
Yeah. There. Google Waters World and watch the interviews. No probing on his part, probing or prodding. And do you really think that every single person in America should be voting? I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if they were educated enough to participate. We're going to take a break. We'll wrap things up in just a moment with Marilyn Barnwell, and you got it when we come back. Just your thoughts on that, Marilyn. Marilyn Barnwell, newswithviews.com. Also her blog, marilynwrites.blogspot.com. That's marilynwrites.blogspot.com.
CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingroveinn.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. Really? They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hi, I'm Dr. Parthenia Grant. Tune into my show, Divine Love Talk, where you will learn secrets to longevity and health, ways to move into oneness, discover powerful tools to gain victory over self-sabotage, and get enlightened about relationships. So tune in to CRN for Divine Love Talk right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
So tune in to CRN1 for Divine Love Talk, Mondays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Everybody's talking at me.
My guest, Marilyn Barnwell. And go ahead, Marilyn. I know you wanted to comment on whatever I said.
Well, I think just kind of in an overall sense, if there's fault in the current system, and there is great fault, but I believe that it centers on the arrogance of nations who believe they can force an individualist-based system of government on people whose natural inclination requires tribalism. I did a 20-year research project on this, Chuck, when I was in banking. It applied only to banking at the time, and it took me a long time to figure it out. It had an application outside of banking. But the tribalist or the individualist nature that people have doesn't just go an inch or two deep. It goes soul level. It is a part of you, part of your core. And if we look at the two different things, individualists are mostly entrepreneurs. Keep in mind, as you look at our jobless society, that's where 70 to 80% of new jobs come from. That's the sector that employs 70% of the American people. Entrepreneurs are individualists. You know why you don't have any jobs in America today? Because we are totally destroying our entrepreneurial class with this socialism, tribalism culture that we are providing them. They will not function in it. And
also all the EPA regulations. You know, quadruple the amount of rules that people have to follow now to be an entrepreneur or small business. Go ahead.
But then why aren't our small businesses growing faster to also create? Because that's the job of the passive or the tribal, if you will, personality. And they're being shucked off over here with, let me give you this free for nothing. Let me give you that free for nothing. the something-for-nothing deals, and they aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They're being taught to be afraid of individualists and to hate individualists, and individualists are being taught to hate. It's got to stop. We've got to pull the positives out of each of the personality groups and work together like we're supposed to. And that's the only way we're going to solve all of our problems, including unemployment. And it would help if we could
Marilyn,
get rid of this administration. I'm sorry.
Almost out of time. I would love for these colleges to take your article and have their students, give them the left approach, because that's what you're going to have to write in college, to get a passing grade, to see how they could tear this apart. Hey, before we go, I had mentioned earlier, I want the listener to check out Google Code 2040. All right, Code 2040. It's basically saying, we know the jobs are now going to go to African Americans and Hispanics. In the year 2040, that's when they figure the population of minorities in the United States will be the whites. And a very interesting article on that, Code 2040. Marilyn, thank you very much. And the name of this article is Communism, Socialism, Tribalism, Oligarchy, Elitism, and Crony Capitalism. Newswithviews.com. Excellent article, Marilyn, and stay well, all right?
Thanks, Chuck. God bless.
God bless you. Look forward to our next visit. Hey, and thank you very much, Paul Stern, and I certainly thank you for listening. And by the way, if you're out on the highways and the byways and, motoring along and not checking your rearview mirror, just every once in a while, think about those signs that they put up in many, many states. It simply says, slower traffic, keep right.
Enjoying all your favorite CRN programming is easier than ever. It's right on your TV, through your local cable provider, and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the move, stuck in a plane, train, or in your car, catch up on all the